Hi Sharon.
Hi Mark.
How are you going today?
Good, thank you.
Today we're going to talk about the Peace of Mind signature tools.
Okay, so there are so many things to consider when we think of estate planning. Where do we even begin?
Well, I guess the issue is with the Peace of Mind plan and the tools that we've created is, so you're asking for a question. So the question is, what if you could come up with a myriad of tools and capabilities and resources that effectively would allow you to create certainty, security, simplicity and harmony for those that are left behind when you go, because of all of the thought and the documentation you've put into the process, I guess, while you're around.
Oh, well, this seems like a very good idea, but how would this help?
Well, how it helps is it just creates structure around creating peace of mind for people. The tools, and we'll go through them in a little bit of time, but basically it just means that you've left clues and you've documented and you've created a folder and so on for the important documents for the family and the loved ones when you're not here.
Well, I can see the logic there. So what are the key points to bear in mind when considering our needs?
Sure, Sharon. Look, the first thing is the role, in regard to all these tools and capabilities, the role of the facilitator is probably the most important part of this, and that is having someone. It's a structured approach, and it's all about having a ringmaster, so to speak, that will take you through the steps in the process and facilitate the process for you. The second thing is to go logically through a process which allows you to discover what your intent is and what your desired outcomes are. That's a very important part of the process, is understanding what's in your heart, what you really want for your family. The third thing is to ensure you don't get pushed into a one-size-fits-all. And I'm going to say this, a lot of solicitors, when you go to them, they've got a way they've always dealt with their clients. And so you're just going to get their standard package number 1, 2 or 3. And I guess with a structured approach and a facilitator, you're going to get the opportunity of dealing with someone who's dealt in a lot of different situations, and you're getting the wealth of knowledge from that. The fourth part is that it's all coordinated with you, and what we do is talk in plain English as part of the structured approach. We don't use jargon, so you're not trying to work out what things like testamentary trusts are and asset protection. We just talk in English so that it really is understandable conversation. And the fifth thing is to make sure that you've got a fair and structured approach so that all the conversations you'd want to have with your family and your loved ones are going to be there. And I keep coming back to it's all about leaving the clues behind.
Very personal approach. So ultimately, how do we achieve the individual desired results?
Well, by going through our structured process, I mean, basically we've created the Peace of Mind plan process. It's a 10-step process, and it's to make sure that all those things from understanding what your goals are in regard to your estate planning process, drawing a line in the sand where you are now, having the conversations about what your heart's saying you want to happen for your family, making sure you can maximise your estate if things are missing, but more importantly, leaving the letters and leaving the notes so that everyone knows exactly what your intentions are and what you'd want.
So what outcomes can we expect as a result if we fail to use these tools compared to the outcomes we can expect if we do use them?
Well, Sharon, to me that's really obvious. I mean, I've seen, I've seen so many cases where people have passed on and the family has squabbled, have struggled, haven't known what to do, emotional distress, paralysis comes in, and it's just a terrible time in that family's life. And what we've tried to do is to simplify things, to have a structured process so that when you go, there's a documented way for everybody, whilst they're still grieving, there's a checklist, so to speak, to go through clinically and make sure all the things that you want for your family, people that you love and care for, that's what happens.
Well, thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Sharon.